Hi guys, welcome along. Well, what I'm going to start to do is cover some of my Xbox 360 games, because I've got so many it is ridiculous. And by covering them, I might obviously introduce you to a new game you've never thought of, but it also might encourage me to actually play these games rather than just to have them on a shelf. All looking very pretty and nice, but there's no point having them if you're not going to enjoy them. So I'm just going to let this intro play out, and then once it finishes, we'll get stuck into the game. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm a bit of a sucker for neon lights and stuff. I don't know why, I've just always liked it. I just think it makes everything look kind of cool and futuristic. And so I felt that presentation there, the intro, even the music, everything just, for me, just oozed class and style. But, I don't know, maybe I might be on my own there, I'm not sure. So what I'm doing here, I'm just having a standard race, 20 cars in this race, and obviously the aim is, well, ideally to finish first, but really what you usually find is finishing in the top 3 is enough to gain you the relevant points. Now when I say points, that's probably not really the right word to use. It's more like lights you've got to get. And for every race you participate in, you have to get 7 lights. 5 of them dependent on how well you race the race, or how well you do in the race, and whereabouts you finish. And then 2 other additional lights. One of them is gained by going through gates, and another one is by acquiring fans. And the amount of fans is predetermined before the race starts. So you might need to, I don't know, get 2,000 fans, for example. So to gain them fans, you've got to do things in the game, such as bring down cars, drift, the usual kind of things. And also there's things like fan requests. Now you can run into an icon, and then a fan request will pop up on the screen, and it'll say something like, turbo boost or nitro into a car. And then if you do that within like 10 seconds, or whatever it is, then you gain that amount of fans that it said on the screen, whether it's 10, 20, 100, 500, whatever it might be. So as you can see, oh, in fact, here, speaking of the gates, so I saw the gate icon come up, and the idea is obviously to go through all the gates. And if you do, then you tick that kind of box off, or that light off, and you don't have to do that again. Now, there are 12, I think, altogether, and the last one is always green, so you can always tell anyway when the last light is about to appear. If you miss one, like if I missed one now, or this one coming up, then you've ruined the challenge and you have to do it again on the next lap, or the next time you play the game. But it's just a nice little addition. It makes you come back to a race after you've done it, so it's kind of nice. I like the that addition of that. It's not very difficult, it's pretty easy. The fan requests can be hard at times, because it's not just a case of just finishing first or just going around the track. You've got to pull off the right moves and impress people to get them fans. But as you can see, one of the real key elements of the game is these pickups, the power-ups. And at the moment, I've got 2 there. I've got the bolt of lightning, which I'm firing, or just fired there, and that was 3. The guy who I just went past had like a bubble shield, so that just prevents any damage. So I wasted them bolts, really. And the other one, which I just got rid of, was a mine. And you can either fire these things behind you or in front of you to obviously take out any cars. So think of it of like a cross between either just a straight-up racing game and a cross between, say, a Burnout and a Mario Kart. It's that kind of thing. So if you like any of them games, you're gonna love this. Now, like I say, this one came out earlier this year, so it's still a relatively new game. But really, the amount of coverage it got was minimal, to say the least. And off the top of my head, I can only presume it must have come out, with a splurge of other racing games and just didn't really get the attention it deserves. And I think it's a bit of a shame, because Bizarre Creations, who created this game, I believe, the last I heard anyway, is that the company went bust or went into liquidation, or it's no longer around for whatever reason. So that's a shame, because I think they were going to be looking at maybe making Blur a bit of a franchise. But as it stands, you know, a sequel is probably not really going to happen. But you never say never. And I would love to see a sequel, because one of the things that I think the game is missing, which I think would make it absolutely epic, is, say, take out the, you know, the road rage from Burnout. I mean, I just love that, just knocking the cars off the road. This doesn't really have that. You can't really barge cars off the road. The only reason, or the only way of doing damage, really, is to use the power-ups, like I'm going to be using in a second. So speaking of power-ups, there are 8 altogether. There's the bolt, which I've mentioned already, which I just used there, pretty ineffectively, must be said. There's the barge, like I say, which kind of knocks people who are either side of you. There's the shield, which protects you, so I could really do with a shield here. This is the badge that I'm collecting there. There's the repair, so if your car is in damage, again, really well timed, like there, what I could have done is straight away just repaired my car. There's the shock, which is the lightning. There's the nitro, which is the speed. The shunt, which kind of fires a ball of electricity, if you like, or a ball of fire, either forwards or backwards, depending on where you want it to go. And there's the mine, again, which you can kind of fire forwards or behind you. In fact, this is the mine. Again, this is all really well timed. And that kind of stays where it is. So if I fired it behind me, then anyone coming up, you know, behind me in the race would have to avoid that. Otherwise, they're going to run into it, which wouldn't be cool for them, but would be great for me. So, like I say, this is just a straight race. Finished second. Pretty good. I got my 4 lights there, rather than 5. I guess if I'd have finished first, I would have got all 5 lights. But as you can see, I needed 1,200 fans. I got 894, so I haven't got that one. But I did pass the 12 gates. So at the top of the screen there, like you can see, the 7 lights, 6 of them have been completed. So we're going to move on to the second one. This is racing down in LA. I don't quite know whether it's a true representation of a particular part of LA, but either way. And this race is a checkpoint, so again, it just adds various little challenges into the game. Obviously, you've got your single player, your multiplayer, your friend challenges. I mean, all these kind of things are to be expected, I guess, in this day and age. But this is just a checkpoint, self-explanatory. You know, you've just got to get to the next checkpoint within a time limit. And you've basically got 2 things to help you on your way. Well, kind of 3, really. One of them being your just skill and your natural talent. But really, there's the speed buttons, which is, or the nitros, I should say, which help you. And also you can collect time bonuses, the little padlocks there. And when you collect a padlock, it kind of essentially adds on, maybe, I think it's 2 or 3 seconds onto the clock. So it really is important to pick them up and not just necessarily rely on using your nitros. So where possible, you know, always collect the padlocks. And this is pretty easy, really. I mean, this is my first attempt ever on this level, and I think I did it with a few seconds to spare, or quite a few seconds to spare. But I mean, I just love this game. You really do get a sense of speed, and obviously, particularly when you're using a nitro anyway, then you would do. But I mean, everything's just really well implemented. Now, I will also say as well that when you collect power-ups, you can collect 3 at any one time, and you can shift between them. So if I collected, like, I can't do it on this one, obviously, because it's not a race, but let's say I collected first up a nitro, like I have, or had there, and then let's say I used a shunt, or I collected a shunt, and then a barge. It doesn't mean to say I've got to use the nitro first, because I picked that one up first. You can press the LB button, and it shifts to which ones you want to use next. So that's kind of nice. Now, it did take me a long time to figure that out, because I am just an expert at never, ever reading instructions. You know, I can't be bothered with it. So when I first got the game, you know, I think there was like a car by the side of me, and I had a barge, but I also had like a nitro and something, and I was like, oh, how annoying, I wish I could just use the barge straight away. And you can. You just press the LB button, and you shift between your icons, your power-ups, and then you can use whatever is appropriate. So, yeah, that'll teach me. Like I say, I'm the expert at not reading instructions. So again, I've gone through the lights here. There's 12 to get through. Pretty easy. There's only a couple of examples that I've come across so far where it's a bit of a challenge. You know, you've kind of got to really brake on a corner to get round into the last light. But generally speaking, if you don't do it on your first time, you're probably going to do it on your second. So that was kind of a bit of an epic fail there with I was trying to get that padlock and I just completely missed it, which is a bit silly. So what I usually do, generally, I tend to stock up, you know, where possible on power-ups. And then, like I said, just use the one for when it's appropriate at that time. So that was pretty easy. I needed 2,000 fans. just scraped through with 2012, but ultimately still did it. I finished first, I got my 5 lights, I went through the gates, it was a clean sweep. I absolutely nailed that, so there you go. Perfection. So this one's another one in LA, it's the LA River, or the course of LA River. I don't even know, again, if that's based on a real place. But it's just a straight-up race, like the first one. You know, no checkpoints on this one. There's actually another mode which I haven't mentioned, I haven't featured in the video, and it's called Destruction. And basically, it's just you and a load of, obviously, computer-controlled cars, and the idea is to pick power-ups, or to collect the power-ups, I should say, and just to knock down as many as possible, destroy as many cars. And every time you kind of hit one, then the time gauge goes up, you know, so you're saving on time. So it's like a race against the clock to get as many cars smashed up as possible. And that's pretty fun, although it definitely is a challenge. But like I say, this one is just a straight-up race. So it's just a case of collecting the power-ups, using them at the appropriate time, and yeah. Now what I'm going to do here... Oh, I don't know what the hell happened there, actually. Oh, I think I changed the view, and I thought, what the hell's going on? But I just used the electricity there. Now, the electricity... See, they've all got, like, a purpose. There's no point using the electricity, or the shock, I should say, to give its official title. There's no point using that if you're in second or third position, because you're going to run into that sooner or later. And obviously put yourself in danger. So the best time to use the shock is really when you're in the lower end of the grid. So if you're, like, 19th now, for example, or if you're in, like, maybe 10th or 12th, you really don't want to be doing it if you're second or third. You're just better off just simply just, you know, using it or just saving it until you need it further on down the race. So here I am, making my way up the grid. I was 20th, I think, 19th. Someone got me there, which is really bad timing because I was just about to collect a repair power-up. So there you go. But I don't think it mattered. Picked up the nitro, speed through the water. The water effects look really cool. I guess it's, you know, to be expected these days. It's nothing new, but it just looks great. And like I said at the start of the video, for me, the neon lights, it just looks amazing. And I kind of love that kind of, what would it be, kind of like an early, mid-80s kind of look anyway. It's just brilliant. So I was going to use the repair again there, but some bugger stole it in front of me. And then I thought, well, I'll get the mine. But then that red car to my right nicked it. And that really is what I like about this game. I mean, even though it's infuriating when someone essentially nips in there before you and steals your power-up, it's just good to play against, you know, computer AI that knows what it's doing. And this is a hard game. You know, it can be really difficult. It's not just a straight racer game where you just expect to put it on and blitz through it. You know, it's hard, or it can be hard. And sometimes, you know, right at the last second, you know, a computer-controlled car, almost like Mario Kart, they kind of appear from nowhere, and they overtake you, and you think, where the hell did that come from? So it can be infuriating, but at the same time, it makes you really concentrate and knuckle down. You know what you've got to do. And, yeah, without question, I mean, you know, this game has got that pulling factor of, you know, constantly pulling you back for another go, not just one more race. And that's obviously just a sign of a great game. Now, another thing I really like about the game is the fact, and I guess it's, you know, it's to be expected in this day and age, but it's just nice to see it. And it's the fact that there's multiple routes you can take. Now, maybe not so much on this particular course, I don't think, but on several other tracks anyway, you know, you can choose to go left if you want, or right. It's up to you. Ultimately, you're going to end up in the same kind of place. So I like that. That feature there, I don't know what happened. I think, you know, I was, because of the way I kind of crashed, it looked as if I was almost going in the wrong way. So the computer kind of, the screen slowed down and it put me back on track. But obviously trying to help me, but it ended up being a bit of a hindrance. Because, well, I didn't really need it. But, yeah, anyway, guys, so this video it's coming to an end now. Last kind of 30 seconds or whatever it is. So I'm just trying to avoid these electric shocks. So then I go into one, obviously, which is quite ridiculous. But from 20th position to 1st, that's quite some turnaround. So, guys, like I say, once again, I can't recommend this enough. You've really got to get it. I really do believe it's one of the sleeper hits of the 360 and of 2010 in general. So it's a really good game. It'll keep you thoroughly addicted, and replayability really strong, I feel. I don't know what I was doing here. Trying my very best to finish second, but unfortunately finished first. Oh, damn. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Go and have a wander around eBay or Amazon or wherever. You'll get it for 10 quid, $10, maybe even less. Absolute steal. See you later.